Welcome to Best in Class. My name is AJ Madden. I have the honor and privilege of helping individuals and organizations become best in class at what they do. Today, we have a very special guest in a very special and important leadership position. This is Chief Erich Becker. Erich is the Chief of Operations and responsible for overseeing all aspects of operations for the Ocean City Beach Patrol in Ocean City, New Jersey, one of the largest seasonal lifeguard organizations in the country. He was promoted to Chief of Operations in 2023 and leads almost 200 staff, including lifeguards, EMTs, and administrative personnel. Chief Becker began his Ocean City Beach Patrol career in 1983, serving for 3 summers before pursuing a successful career in the private sector as an owner of Becker's School Supplies, employing over 150 people. It's almost 100 years old now. It's still going strong, and it does business nationwide. Now, in 2013, Erich returned to the Beach Patrol, bringing decades of leadership and management experience that continue to guide the organization today. A lifelong connection to Ocean City has shaped Becker's service. He spent all of his childhood in town with his 12 siblings and is a graduate of Holy Spirit High School in Absecon, New Jersey. Married with 4 children, he is committed to building a safe, professional, and community-focused beach patrol while honoring the legacy and traditions of Ocean City Beach Patrol. Chief, welcome to Best in Class. It's an honor.
Good morning. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time. This is Chief is ramping up into his very busy season, and he gave us his time today. And again, it's a very important job. I was watching some videos this week to prepare of ocean rescues and ocean training. As I'm watching these rescues, I didn't expect to have my adrenaline going as I was watching this, and it was a very emotional, visceral experience to see these brave men and women dive into the waves and risk their lives to save others, to save children, and all kinds of people. And just watching videos of it was just it really floored me. Now we're coming up on 200 episodes, and I've been privileged to have all kinds of leaders on the show in all kinds of industries. And Chief Becker's, your experience is just something special. I mean, you came from the business world and went to this world. And what are 3 key mindsets that drive your leadership?
Well, you're right. It is a a specific field that we are in and being lifeguards, and we all have the same thing in common. We love working with people, and we love keeping people safe. So I've been in the trenches with my guys. I started obviously as a lifeguard myself. So we love it. We love the job. And when it comes to the life-threatening part of it, I don't have any lifeguards that even think twice. They go. When there's someone in need, they go after it. Uh, it's a great organization to be a part of. One of the mindsets that I think, AJ, is I start my day with an attitude of gratitude. I wake up just like everybody else. I have a cup of coffee, knowing that I have a busy day ahead of me. I still know that I'm going to the best job ever, and I love it. So I really try to put my mind in that frame to appreciate what I do have.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm sure that's contagious. The first time I talked to you, I thought, yep, this is the guy who should be running one of the largest beach patrols in the United States, and also one of the most respected beach patrols in the United States. And it starts with your energy and your warmth and your attitude and gratitude, and also your experience and your confidence in what you do, and having been in the trenches, doing what your people do. Chief, what are some other mindsets that drive your leadership?
Well, that's exactly right, and I do try to live every day like that. I try to set clear expectations with all of my staff. Uh, the startup of the year, AJ, I have this beautiful PowerPoint presentation that's fun and interactive with my team. It takes quite a while for us to onboard 200 people, so we do it over 5 weekends, and I let them know this is what I'm looking for. This is what you need to be doing. Here's the minimum. standard that we always are looking for. I make sure that it's clear. They know what the job is and what they need to do.
That makes sense. Every great leader sets clear and high standards. I have yet to find an exception. In 20 years of research and 200 episodes of this podcast, every single great leader sets clear and high expectations. And I've been to Ocean City Beach the last few years and with my family, my mother, siblings, their families, grandkids, and it's very noticeable to me. It was very clear before I ever met Chief that the standards were very high there and they were very clear. And everyone was all the lifeguards were very buttoned up and locked in and very sharp and precise in everything they do. So that standard always starts at the top of the organization. And if any leader out there, whether you're a parent or a school teacher or a chief of police or a lifeguard or a CEO, set those clear and high expectations, like Chief says. And Chief, sorry to interrupt. What else drives your leadership?
Something that's very important to me, and I do it through my whole life, and it does carry into the work, my past career and this career, is I try to have the mindset to always listen to people first. You can imagine that, out of 200 employees, that there's a lot of lives going on. They have a lot of different situations. I pride myself in being a good listener, hearing what they have to say, looking at the emotions behind it or where they're coming from. I try to understand what they're telling me before I give them advice or before I give them a directive. I think that's important for every job, every position. And it's been proven to me it works. Take the time, listen before you respond, whether it's a incident of someone as simple as being late for work, or they might have missed a rescue where they could have been on it quick enough. So that's a very important thing for me, and it works.
Mm. Well, that last 5 minutes, Chief, your three leadership mindsets. Someone could run a Fortune 500 company or lead a Division One sports team with those three keys: that attitude of gratitude, that high warmth, the high excellence of standards and expectations, and then being that expert listener. That's some of the best 5 minutes we've ever had on this podcast. There's no doubt about it, and I appreciate you doing it in such a way that was simple and powerful for us to understand. And you apply it to a life-saving profession. So if it's working at the highest level. I mean, first responders like yourselves, lifeguards, law enforcement, military, active duty combat. This is life or death. This is the highest stakes of any type of leadership. And what Chief laid out, what you laid out for all of us, is the highest levels of this. Anything else in terms of mindsets?
Well, no, they're my three top things, AJ, and I do believe all of that truly. I've learned some of it over the years. I'm 58 now, so I've learned a lot through life raising my kids. I have four daughters, and I'm from a pretty large family. I'm the seventh kid of 13. So growing up, I've been beaten up by my older brothers and I beat up my younger brothers. So there's a lot of life lessons in there that I've learned. So I really stand by them. We're putting, I call them kids, they're young adults. We're putting them in life-threatening situations. And I need them to know that I'm behind them. I know what's going on with them. I'm part of their team. The ultimate goal for us is to have it be a family. There's a lot of camaraderie going around, and I just want to keep that going. I think that's the tradition of the Beach Patrol, and it's very important to me.
That makes sense. And it's clear it's all trickling down through, every interaction I've ever had.
It
Uh,
comes from the head down, that's for sure. That's been proven to me also. Because we've probably all seen the opposite, where the leader doesn't do all of those things. And it does, it's a little bit of a cancer, and you can see it work its tentacles through the employees. Previous chiefs, when I was in the trenches, I noticed, that that was one thing that I was looking for more of. So that's
Mm.
important stuff.
It's a great lesson for all of us. When you're working for leaders, look for what you admire and respect and want to emulate, and then
Right.
also, do the opposite of what you don't. That always helped me a lot in my career. Just avoid the avoidable, demotivators,
Right.
clarity. How
Right.
about habits, Chief? Your habits that really drive your leadership, your daily habits.
Uh, my habits are pretty basic, but they're important to me. I like reading. I like starting a good book, working all the way through, getting it done when I can. Uh, that's an important thing for me because it helps me relax and focus on the days. And I generally read at the very end of the day before bed, and I've learned to enjoy it. AJ, I wasn't always that way, but in recent years, I just started picking up a book, looking for a way to relax, and I've learned to like it. And I think everybody should do it. I think parents should encourage their kids when they're young to pick up a book and get them in that habit. It's you never stop learning. At 58, hopefully 68 and 78, I'll still be learning just like all of us. So that's an important habit for me. I do have some other ones, and they're the boring ones, maybe, but I do exercise roughly about 5 days a week. Some
Okay.
days I get carried away and I do seven, I just don't go as hard, but that's a routine that I always have this fear of falling off of. I don't, I keep doing it, but exercising, it does work. It releases the stress. You feel better. You have more energy. And let's face it, I'm older, so I got to prepare for my 60s. So you prepare for that by doing exercising now. And I'll continue it preparing for my 70s. I know it works. I know it works. So that's very important to me.
Mm.
I swim, not so much as I surf, or surfing is something that we grew up here in Ocean City. It was a school sport, so you got a letter for it. So surfing's always been my main sport. I got good at it. Uh, so that's what I like to do. But I hit the gym roughly 5 days a week. So,
Okay, so you hit the gym on top of the surfing
yep.
5 days a week.
Well, we don't always have good waves here. I'm a longboarder, so I can ride small waves, but we prefer the bigger ones, and we usually have to wait for storms for them. But we get a good amount here on the East Coast. We have a lot of good surfers come out of New Jersey.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. And you
Yeah.
get up, you do your morning exercise, weights, cardio, first thing in the day. Is that your routine?
My routine is CrossFit.
Okay.
And I'm part of a nice core group. I've been doing it for about 10 years now. I've learned how to do it in my older years, like I am now. So I've progressed along with it well. I don't go as heavy as I used to, but there's a lot of reports out there that say at my age, you don't need to go heavy. You need to get the reps in. And then I get my cardio through that too, with a little bit of running. But that's what I prefer. I pay the money, I show up. All I got to do is show up, and then
Right.
everything's laid out for me. And I'm a big believer of the CrossFit way of doing things. So I have a fantastic trainer who uh, went to college. She was uh, really learned everything about it. So I'm fortunate enough to have a really good trainer.
Oh, excellent. That's great advice for busy people. Have somewhere you can go, show up, get the
Yeah.
best possible workout in, not have to think.
Right.
Busy leaders like yourselves, and a lot of leaders are listening right now to the show. That's great advice, and it's great
Yeah.
tactical fitness because yourself and your guards are elite tactical athletes. It's and
They,
CrossFit's great for that.
they are. And CrossFit prepares me for a lot of getting in the mindset of our team, because most of them, AJ, are in their 20s or younger. So they're lifting weights. They're doing a lot of the gym things. A lot of them are swimmers. I'm not as big a swimmer as a lot of my staff is. I'm a very quick swimmer, but not a long distance swimmer. And you only have so much time in the day, right? So I choose what I'm going to get through. And an early morning class of CrossFit has just always worked well. I don't have to think. I don't have to plan anything out. That's what you're paying for there, I think, is the programming. It really works for me. Not for everybody, but it works for me.
It makes sense. It
Yeah.
makes sense. It does for your busy schedule, not to think, and also the tactical fitness aspect of it.
Yeah.
And pushing hard and getting and being efficient and effective as well, getting strength and cardio in,
Yeah.
at once. Very smart. And I think that's a great lesson for all the busy leaders out there. Find something that you love to do in terms of physical activity in a way that's efficient and effective for you and, fits your schedule. I mean, I think the vast majority of great leaders have the first two habits that you said, an exercise habit, a reading habit. And like Chief said, it may be boring and simple, but champions are brilliant at the basics, as John Wooden said. And that's what it's about. And that Chief's laying out the basics for us. Any favorite books, Chief? Nonfiction, biography, leadership, personal development?
Yeah, well, I just finished a book on Rudolph Diesel,
Okay.
an amazing individual. Rudolph Diesel is a man that back in the early 1900s invented the diesel engine.
Okay.
And just the journey that he went on to create this is an amazing story. It got into that era of Germany and Churchill, and I just thought it was a fantastic read. He's actually missing. He went missing off the side of a boat, and there's theories that because he didn't want the Germans to get all of his technology, that he and his wife went to Canada, and that's where they worked out of with Churchill, and of course a little bit with the United States. So very interesting read. That's my favorite book at the time. I'm kind of looking for a new one now. Uh,
Any other what was another habit maybe? Leadership.
well, it's another boring one, but at my age, it's critical. Is the food,
Yeah.
eating properly. I'm one of those individuals that can just forget to eat, uh, and it every time I do it, I pay for it. Either with I'm just wiped out at the end of the day, or it takes me a day or two to get back into my normal energy. But I focus on that because eating takes time. You got to work it into your schedule, and I've been bad at that for most of my life, but now that I'm older, I have to do it. AJ, not just for the physical part of it. I'm a big believer of this Dr. Casey. I forget her name. She's now working with the government. I forget what her official position is with the nutrition with JFK or RFK. She wrote a book that said that 25% of the food you take in is burned off by just your brain. And if you think about that, like, okay, you could be saying the chair out the energy, but the brain is always going. It's always going and needs energy. So I eat just as much for my brain that I do for my legs for when I'm running. It's just one bit about that. It just resonated with me, and it makes sense. You got to think clearly. You got all these people counting on you, uh, whether it's small or big. I got to my toes. So eating is critical. Critical. That's a big habit I have lately.
Great advice for leaders. Excellent advice. For between the exercise and the nutrition, most of what we do as leaders is we think and we talk to
Yeah.
people. So that's to maximize our brain power and our mental performance through exercise and nutrition. Great advice for everyone out there who's not thinking about it like that. Not just
Well,
the
it
of it.
yeah, taking care of your body, it affects your ability to lead. There's no doubt. If you're not focused or your mind's not clear, chances are it's food. You have to make sure you're getting the right nutrition. I'm a big believer in it. So it affects your leadership skills for sure.
Oh, well said. Well said. And that can be a game changer for anyone who's listening to start exercising in the morning and start to watch how their energy levels and how their brain functions after they eat things or when they don't eat things or whatever it is, that can really change somebody's life. Chief, if you could have dinner with any three famous people you admire most, alive or passed on, who would they be? Historical figures, US presidents, celebrities, uh, military leaders. Who would it be for you?
Well, Rudolph Diesel, because I just finished that book. I'd love to sit down with him. He just seemed like a normal guy growing up in Europe. Parents had no money. He just always wanted to do something and he just kept pursuing it. But I think I'd like to sit down with him because I think we would be able to laugh and talk and learn things from each other. I think it'd be a great conversation. Hardworking individual, uh, you know, he had the mindset to think so far in advance uh, with this diesel engine. He wanted to create this just so hardworking farmers or hardworking factory workers wouldn't have such a hard job. That's what his goal was. That's how he started. But of course, it didn't go that way. It went into bigger engines like replacing the steamship engine or uh, submarines. Diesel submarines were huge back then, especially in the wars. So I just think he'd be great to sit down with. Yep.
Good
So
choice.
the other one, I'd like to sit down with Abraham Lincoln, and one of the real reasons is not only did he become a martyr for our country and represent all people, the way he thought, the things he did, what a critical time in this country's history. But I think Abraham and I would start off the conversation talking about splitting wood. He split wood a lot. He even edged his name in his own axe. Uh, and I split wood all winter long. I heat my house with wood. I don't have any other heat other than a wood stove, and that's been since '92, and I love it. And now I don't rent the hydraulic splitting machines. I do it all by hand, all winter long. Just half hour here, hour there, 10 minutes there. And I think Abe Lincoln and I can talk a lot about that. I have some techniques I think could help him.
There you go.
I do.
Oh, one of my favorite answers on the show right there.
I'm serious too. The third person is not as famous. But I'd love to be able to sit down with my dad again, who became a really good friend of mine. He was, and I didn't know it at the time, but he was such a good leader. He built that business. He raised 13 kids. He loved his wife. He loved his kids. It was so obvious to me. And he did things right. He originally told me, if you're going to do it right, or don't do it at all. And I believed it. But on top of that, AJ, he had this ability to come up with time to take care of himself, whether it was reading a book. He was a very big reader. uh, Fishing, he loved fishing. We grew up right on the bay. He had a boat in the backyard. He'd throw like 8 kids on there, go fishing, or just watching the Phillies. He always had found that time. I still don't know how he did it all because that household was very busy, but he did. And looking back, I just like to talk to him, update him, maybe to advice on a couple things. But he would be my third person.
Oh, great answer. I'm sure he's looking down proud on everything you're doing, the impact you're having, the leader you are, and the impact, yeah, the positive difference you're making in lives of so many people, young people, people that your guards save. It's just incredible. Yeah, you're him now, I would say. You're definitely carrying on the legacy that you just laid out, getting everything you get done, you know,
Yeah,
in a day.
yeah. He was a. I don't know if I can hold a candle to him, but he as we got older, we became more friends. I'm older in life. He passed away about 5 years ago at the age of 84. So it'd just be nice to go back and talk to him about a few things. He's a great guy.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he was. Chief, very quickly here, just three traits you look for in a great guard.
Three things I look for in a great guard: their personality and how they talk and deal with people. I mean, they're down there on the beaches. They're dealing with thousands and thousands of people on our busiest beaches every day. So I look for a little bit of myself in them, how they treat people. And part of my morning or my PowerPoint that I do for them, AJ, is the second slide is a no jerk. It's a big circle with a line through it, jerk. And we live by the golden rule. I talk to them about the golden rule. So I look for that in them, how they're treating people. You know, they're all different. Not all of them have backgrounds like mine, so they just need to be reminded, and I show them by the way I talk to people. So whenever I have guards around me, that's a teaching and a learning moment for them. So how they deal with people. Secondly, you can tell a true dedicated guard by the way they never take their eyes off the water, ever. You could have people around you, kids, families, talking around you. They'll have a conversation with you, but they're facing the water. That they never take their eyes off the water. It's such an important thing for us as lifeguards. You think it's courteous, and I tell them this. You think it's courteous to look at someone and give them eye contact, and it is, but not when we're watching the water. Our job's to watch water. And you can say to the people, hey, I'm listening to you, but I'm watching the water, and they understand. So that's a very important trait that I talk to them about. So a third one would be, there's a few of them. A third one would be just to act quickly. A lot of these younger kids, they think too much on situations that are preventative. And a lot of what we do is preventative lifeguarding. In our city, we set up swim areas. People have to swim within them. That's a part of being preventative. Out California, I don't know about the whole state, but they're reactive. They wait for a 911 call or something to come in. When we're working, we're actively keeping people safe before they get into a predicament. So I want them to, when I see a rookie or a 2-year guard or a 3-year guard, just jump down from the stand, run over to address someone. It's important to me, and it makes me feel like this is working. It's getting through to them. So some of them may see a swimmer and contemplate, oh, is that person, do they need help? Or, is that person just playing? No, just go. Get out to them. Then talk to them. That's important to me, being reactive like that or preactive.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, brilliant answer. Thanks for answering that. I thought about this right before the session. I knew you'd have some great answer like
Oh,
that.
good.
Oh, those are great traits. Those are just great traits. And I think they're great traits for everyone in every job, as you described it. The kindness, the never keep your eye off what's most important in your work, whatever that
Mm,
is, and then being proactive instead of reactive. And wisdom is prevention, as Charlie Munger said, the late great Charlie Munger. Wisdom is prevention, and being proactive
right.
and being preventative, and that saves lives. I'm sure of it. I'm sure it's saved quite a few. Your philosophy there. And Chief, can you tell us about your water safety program and any tips you could give us on how to be safe in the ocean?
Well, thanks for asking about that, because as I mentioned earlier, AJ, we did lose a 19-year-old tourist who was swimming without the lifeguards. We didn't even start for the season. The water was just about 58 degrees. It was cold for most people. It was pretty cold. Real tragic. But we've been working all winter on a swim smart, stay safe curriculum that is designed to be emailed to anybody that wants it. It has a two-dimensional video that goes along with it. So you have the curriculum. It's designed for grades 5 and under. And I'm hoping a lot of teachers hear this and they'll shoot us an email looking for it. We have all the PDF that goes with it. So basically, if you're from Idaho and you've never been by the ocean, you could teach water safety using this 30-minute curriculum and video. And it's important to me that the person that doesn't know anything about the water, teacher or parent, caregiver, could use this curriculum to teach a young kid the basics, the basics. So that's we're putting that out there for free, of course. But along with that, if any schools do it for us, we have a complimentary coloring book, a family fun coloring book. It's a 44-page thick coloring book of all the safety, water safety tips and standards that are out there. So, the school called me and said, hey, we're going to do this. I have 100 students. Well, I have about 17,000 of them. I'll have them on June 11th, just in time for Water Safety Week, which starts June 14th. And we're excited about it, but we got to get the word out. This is like a ramp up year. So 17,000, it was all because of the generosity of our local paper here, the Ocean City Sentinel Ledger. They're letting us do it for cost. And then we have a strong Ocean City Beach Patrol alumni, which is a nonprofit organization. So with their generosity, we've been able to get it done. And it's really exciting, especially AJ with the loss of this one kid. And then 2 days ago, a few cities away in Wildwood, a 13-year-old went missing, a day tripper, someone down for the day. So, I think this curriculum, it might be a little too late for some people, but maybe it'll save a life or two in the future. It's important to us.
Oh, I'm sure it will. The concept's so important, and the coloring book idea and the team you put together to make it happen is when you told me about that, I thought that is so good because the kids can really absorb the lessons through that, as well as the presentations you give and the videos. And I'd love to link anything I could have in terms of that. I'll put that in
Great.
the show notes and
Great.
yeah, that's excellent. Any tips for parents quickly? One or two things to keep their kids safe in the water, in the ocean.
Yeah, first of all, don't let them in the water if there's no lifeguards. But that being said, they do it anyway. So let me just get real. They got to keep their feet on the ground at all times. If they're going to go swimming and you're going to let them go out there, they've got to be able to touch the ground. And they've got to be able to touch the ground even when a wave goes through, because that's where they get lost. A wave will come. All of a sudden, they can't touch the ground and they get pulled out. So they got to keep them in close. They got to set that clearly. Need a waist, and they've got to make sure their kids know. But they're kids, right? So especially boys, they're a little bit more adventurous. You got to be down at the water's edge. You can't be back beach drinking a high C and having a banana. You got to be down by the water's edge. Your kids don't know. They're just having fun. So be down there. Be a water watcher. That's your job. My mom did it. For us down here at the shore growing up here, we don't talk about it amongst ourselves because we just do it. But when you're coming in for the day or from Nebraska or wherever you're coming from, you got to be down at the water's edge. The ocean is beautiful, but it's also very strong. Even when it looks calm, it's still very, very strong. So there's one more tip that I'd like to tell everybody that goes to the ocean, you get caught in a rip. You know, do you know what a rip is? People have different answers for it. I know exactly what it is, but forget that. You get caught in a rip. Now you're getting pulled out. Stay calm. Float to stay alive. You can float in a pool for a long period of time. Get pulled out. Just float. Everybody, these missing swimmers, it's because they panic. It's obvious. So if you're ever caught in a situation, whether it's a river or ocean or anywhere, keep calm, just float. You can float. You can float for a while. Raise your arm up. In our city, in Ocean City, it's less than 2 minutes before someone's going to come there. Our fire team, our fire department has water-ready swimmers at all times of the day, at all hours. They had to go in the water the other day at 12:38 p.m. or a.m. in the middle of the night because some young boys, whatever, wanted to go swimming, and one of them got caught in the current. And thankfully, someone called 911. So these guys are willing to put their lives at risk in situations like that. But just stay calm, float, just float. You know, I'm a little chubbier these days. I float easily, but you very skinny people, you can just wade and float there. Help's on the way. It's always on the way. That's a big thing I want to get out there.
Oh, there's a life-saving tip right there. It's yeah, a lot of great leadership lessons today, and definitely some tips to prevent something tragic from happening. Whether you're a parent or you're a swimmer yourself, and everyone listening, it's your responsibility to be safe. I mean, you've got to take responsibility for your own life. I mean, we've got these great lifeguards in Ocean City. I've seen them in action, and we don't want to put their lives at risk. We need to take responsibility for our own safety and our kids' safety first and foremost. And thank God we've got people like Chief and his team to help us when we really need it. But what Chief was saying earlier, wisdom's prevention. Do everything you can to prevent these things from happening. And Chief, anything else you want to share with us today before we wrap it up? I know you've got a busy day.
Just want to say to you, thank you for all your work and for allowing me to come on your podcast today to talk about these things. I'm very grateful. I think it's all about education. People just need to be educated, and this is one of the ways to do it. So thank you for your help.
Oh, it's an honor, Chief. It's an honor. Thank you for your time during the busiest time of the year. Thanks for keeping my nieces and nephews safe, and all these kids out there on the beach, keeping us all safe. It's a very special thing you do, and it's a tough job, but you do it with a real service heart and real passion for excellence as well. I believe from what I've learned about Ocean City Beach Patrol and what I've seen is, its reputation is very prestigious nationwide, but it's an elite organization, period. You operate with the highest levels of excellence and service that I've seen in a long time. So I give you a ton of credit. I'm very grateful. And again, thank you for your time, Chief. Looking forward to our next conversation.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. God bless.